player Will.
Welcome back, Visions fans. Ready Player Will here. Today we're doing another showcase with Ashen King Mont in particular, and I am looking to make a dual element team with Strategist Aldoa as well as 2P. Obviously could use a variety of different characters. A2 is very popular. King Bradley is very popular. I want to do something off the beaten path a little bit, as you guys know. Always makes for some good extra content. But that being said, there realistically are some synergies between the two of them where, Ashen King Mont has the unit in peril and 2P has that follow-up attack. And I am intrigued to see X's and O's how her evade does hold up against some of the more accurate teams with the power creep. So far, she does not hold up well, all things considered from an evasion perspective, but free match, anything is possible. And so quickly walking through the team building concept here, I am using an AoE, a unit scaling, and an agility card in all of these slots. Now, Aldoa is not benefacting from the agility card here. This is only for the Earth units. And even subcards, Aldoa is getting the benefit of the Helen of the Black Rose VC, but the other ones really are to enable not only the evasion, but also technically the accuracy of my Ashen King Mont as well. That's also why I have the Odin Esper on him. Now, I am using the Blood Sword, which, sure, the self-healing is nice, but it really is for the initial AP of 10, and I am actually using AP Trust Stones here on the right side because many of you have seen the Veritas of the Wind TMR is very popularly used, still in free match, and this is one of the ways to hedge against that a little bit. It's not perfect. He still obviously does run out of AP, but not before he can actually do some damage with a Limit Breaker, a couple imperils, and whatnot. So that's the team concept overall. I am using the Marshmallow here on Aldoa just because she is rather inaccurate innately. I do have a couple ailments. I do not have any Curse Trust Stones on at the moment, which I know was kind of a meme in the Veritas of the Water video that I did, but I'm going to play this on hard mode. I'm not putting any Cursed Trust Stones as of yet, although you all should do as I say, not as I do. But regardless, for the sleep, for the confusion, and just the general accuracy, I want this on for her, even if she's a little bit less bulky because of it. But we're going to roll with that. I'm going to talk about the initial placements here just to see exactly how this should unfold and obviously what kind of tweaks may or may not be required. But the goal is here, looking at the agility values again, if you go into Aldoa here, she's at 109 agility, the slowest of the three units. King Mont should be the fastest here at 128, and my 2P should be the second fastest here at 126. So the general turn rotation should be that Ashen King Mont will move to these two units, use his teammate buff. 2P will then move to Aldoa in one of these adjacent squares and use her teammate buff. Aldoa will use her aura ability and move forward, and then Ashen King Mont and 2P will use their secondary buffs after, all before hopefully getting in range here where 2P does have a tendency to just dash across the battlefield when someone is in range. So there's going to be some spacing things to figure out here. I think it's a good setup, but obviously we'll tweak as need be. But let's roll the dice. Let's see what we get for some matchups here. Oh, and it looks like we got a match here with another Ashen King Mont. So this is Crazy Panther Master Hunter, which is a Guild Raid title. Is that for Guild Raid top scores, or am I confusing that with something else? It's been a little while, but rank 180, so more of a veteran account, but we'll see what they end up coming up with here. This is with Cloud and Jeume. Very intrigued to see the synergy of his team. It looks like mine is faster, with both Mont and 2P being faster than their whole team. That bodes well for me, just to make sure that 2P doesn't get baited ahead of time. Curious to see where his initial positioning is, and it's not set up ahead of time. So, this obviously is still a very competitive team from their end, but definitely missing out on what it could potentially be by not taking advantage of the initial placements. We'll see if that ends up hurting them, or if I still get beat anyway. Anything's possible. But this is going to be Mont's teammate buff, but he's going to use it on self because no one's in range because you can't cross over there. Aldoa uses her aura. That's the physical barrier. I think it's the re-raise seal. It's been a while since I've used her, to be honest. 2P does get the follow-up attack here. And I'm very happy that she's still technically within that Aldoa barrier range. This is Mont's second buff here, but the spacing this I do really like, where last thing I want is 2P to move ahead too far in the wrong direction, get focused down all at once, because I am anticipating them to be relatively accurate. Cloud here coming in with the magic barrier, so this person is not utilizing a TMR on Cloud, which is one of the most popular things you can do with him at the moment, because, and we miss, counterattack, because Cloud's magic barrier doesn't really have a whole lot of use in the current meta. It's still a good buff, just not as topical. So this is the limit break here. This will dispel everything off of their King Mont. It's the all weapon type res, regen some of the health as part of her buff here. 2P is going to come in. Curiosity double burst here, get some of the chaining up, jamming. There's the follow up. Decent enough damage, to be honest. He's going to heal this back. The CT down, very nice for seeing if maybe I lap him. I don't. The turn order does not change, but my King Mont comes in here. This is a very early limit break. This is very nice to get the haste on as early as it will be. It's going to do fair damage cap him. Oh, and the follow up to take him down. I can't remember where his courage went there, to be honest. I actually, unless it's on the second buff, it could be in the second buff, and I baited him, to be honest. I was a little distracted earlier, but obviously going my favorite at the moment. Here comes Blade Blast out of Cloud. Does land a crit hit on Oldoa. Oldoa's probably going to use her guaranteed hit here, I would think, moving into both of them. She does. I actually like her kind of positioning off to the side a little bit here, that when Jeume goes to attack, she might not be in range to hit 2P in this, or even King Mont, depending on the height differences. Nope, she does hit him. That's okay. We're still doing good. I'm very happy with this turn order. Still have my haste online. I just don't think you can see it because I have the AP regen online. But get the double hit, the unit resin peril, bunch of damage on the follow-up attack. Hopefully 2P comes in here and really does some work with their own follow-up attack. Maybe brings in the AoE crush here as well. I think that's probably likely. Concussive Roundhouse, I don't see that very often. With the Tracer ability coming in and out, will bring Cloud down to Courage. Unfortunately, Cloud will get to act, but things obviously are looking very good that I should be able to take him out on the next hit, but Jeume is still going to get to go too. I am curious on the hit rates here. I think he can probably get 2P in the AoE at this range. He doesn't go for it, though, so going for the Cross Slash. My Oldoa goes down. Re-raise must have been removed at some point. This is still very much up in the air because I've not brought Jeume to Courage yet. So she's going to go and attack here. This is the limit break. This will do a substantial amount of damage. Hopefully it misses on my 2P. That would be fantastic. It does. And my Mont at least still lives. I get a really clutch counter ability here. I get the heal back, but I have the healing power down applied to him from that Jeume diamond, so it doesn't really heal as much as I would like. But my 2P is looking really good right now with their overall health pool. This is the Esper coming out, and it's likely a little early. It brings both them to... brings Jeume to Courage. Oh, and the foot. That's why, guys. Okay, there's a little... I won't call it a bug, because it's working as intended, but the damage calculation will include the follow-up attack in its total damage, and so it actually comes back to bite you in the butt sometimes, but often you'll see someone like King Mont use that Esper ability because it does include the Esper's damage in the total damage with the follow-up attack. So still worked out to my advantage there. I do think there was some problems there, again, with the initial placements where obviously their Mont got baited early for all intents and purposes, not getting that second buff off. We were able to chain him down rather quickly. I'm pretty positive if that Mont was within the team, would have gone totally different for them. Not even talking about the unit affinity benefits where you get the extra luck and dexterity from the unit affinity, which likely would have helped the 2P hit rates. So kind of a culmination of things not working in his favor there, but we'll keep seeing if that it tends to be a trend here or not for the other free matches. Oh, looks like we got another one. Oh, this is very interesting. Rank 191, but using a Muraga as the front slot 1 unit. I'm not going to lie. Given the rank, I'm a little surprised to see a Muraga unit in this team, but obviously Bradley and Ashen King Mont are no slouches, and quite honestly, in this meta, Muraga might still surprise you. The thing with Muraga is very barrier reliant, so any kind of barrier break really puts him out, but there's the Veritas of the Wind TMR. We'll see if the Bloodsword and the AP is, Trust Stones are enough to still let me do what I want for a turn or two. I think I should still be able to get my overall buffs off here. I don't think 2P is going to be baited, but that actually might be up. No, she will, because Keenblade is absolutely going to put them in range early. So my Oldoa will at least get her aura online. That's the most important part here before the damage really starts coming in. But Bradley's going to move forward. I would imagine. No, Calculated Rend is not in range yet, so he gets the Poise. Very good buff. Obviously the AP and the Courage. Their enemy Mont also gets this vitally important buff with the AP and the Courage. Muraga already acts again here. Taunting Blade will bring a fair amount of hate on him. My only hope here is that maybe Oldoa can come in with the Limit Break and dispel that hate on it, but My Mont at least also gets a second buff. Critically important here. I am very happy that Aldoa should move this way, that 2P is not realistically going to be in range for any of them to attack because the hate is going to be on my Aldoa instead. So I don't get the Dispel on Muraga, so he does have a strong amount of hate there, but they should all go by 2P for the most part. Obviously, Mont doesn't there, does have the accuracy to hit her. I don't know if Bradley will reposition himself. He doesn't. Calculated Ren will continue to break that barrier. The heal back doing a substantial amount there. Miraga's probably going to come forward, use another Taunting Blade here. The chain's accumulating. Bradley's about to just go absolutely to town on Aldoa with this chain accumulation. Absolutely insane how much they lapped with all that CT. I would love to see a limit break here. It does not come out. I do get the unit crush, so I think 2P should be able to finish the job here on Bradley, which, whew, condition number 1 cleared. That's super important to get him out of the fight as soon as possible. He obviously does a bunch and is a very hyper accurate unit too. That Mont though was already proving to get me a very clutch evade from my 2P. He does regen some health here. Curious to see what Muraga does. Only 10 AP, goes for the basic attack, and so this is where Muraga might show some of his age, that I don't think he's really adding any value of sorts, other than really controlling the hate, but I don't think that's going to matter here in this fight because of the spacing. So I get this limit break with an exceptional amount of damage on Muraga. I get my haste online. Critical damage on the follow-up attack here. 2P comes in 16. She can at least use an ability here, continue the chain. The agility down is very important here for maybe lapping that, as I have haste and he has a lower agility. I also have the unit affinity online at the moment that it's not going to yield its benefits right now, but 2 to 3 turns, this should come into my favor. But 2P goes down, max damage. I have healing power down applied. This is not looking good. So although I might have the potential turn advantage here in a second, fair amount of damage. Do I get to lap him? That's going to be crucially important in a turn here because I still have my courage active. He brings me to courage with the follow-up and I lose. Oh no. Not enough time for the turn order difference to really come to fruition. That was an excellent, excellent match though. Obviously the Keen Blade being crucial there along with the Bradley CT up just to get those chains going on the Aldoa to really get her out of the fight early. Get rid of that source of hate. Get rid of the aura effect of the physical damage down. Well done. That was a very good fight. And we have a near instant match here, and it is with a Sephiroth at near 6,000 attack. Obviously figuring that it's got to be Jeume and maybe Cloud. Very popular iteration. It's not. It's OG Sephiroth and King Mont. Don't count out OG Sephiroth quite yet. He'll be better when the new vision card drops, but there is something to be said for the synergy between them where Sephiroth dispels AoE wide resistance and old Sephiroth has barrier break on demand. They also complement each other well with what they do for courage and re-raise removal. Old Sephiroth is quite frankly very power corrupt, but there is some synergy with the new Sephiroth. I would not count this out. So here we go, getting the teammate buff here. Move of 3. This is OG Sephiroth going for Mass Immune and Waiting. Now, admittedly, that buff, Mass Immune and Waiting, not a big fan of. Top-end play, we don't typically use that. I do get baited here with the Phasal Smash, though, but fortunately, Aldoa is going to have another chance to move again that I don't think my 2P should get chained down too easily, but this is 2 fights in a row. I'm probably going to have to reevaluate this if it goes south, but I at least get her Limit Break online. This is, again, the Dispel. Not a lot of damage, but gives her the all-attack res up, which, you know, this is a high slash pen team. That all weapon type res probably doesn't do much. Teleferic Fury, not a lot of damage. That physical barrier coming in very clutch for her. Looks like their Mont is not going to get his buff on in line in time, though, and misses the attack. So their Mont does not have the courage, does not have the AP regen. OG Sephiroth coming in with Hell's Gate. That's the barrier break. So doing a substantial amount of damage, following up on the chain. I at least heal back all of it before their Sephiroth can do any kind of curse shenanigans. Scintilla comes out, misses. Although my Mont isn't necessarily built for evade, he is still benefacting from the Titan Subvision card, from the Luck Vision card, so he does have a modicum of evasion there, even if it's not necessarily intentional, that, you catch people off guard when you do that. And so 2P coming out now, double burst here, starting another chain, the jamming activated for the CT down. Love to see that. We'll see if it changes the turn order at all. It doesn't seem to at the... Oh, no, it did. My Mont lapped his Mont in that turn order on the left. So Sephiroth's going to go... I would imagine Curse. It has to be Curse, right? Limit Break? The game's thinking real hard. It's got to be. He's probably going to remove my haste here on Ashen King Mont as well. So, you know, I wouldn't count this out. Oh, Sundered Sky. Very interesting to dispel that AoE wide res. Very intrigued on the damage calculation there that he's doing. Twofold Reaper coming in here with the unit res. Their Mont does not have courage. That's a lot of damage on the follow-up attack as a non-critical hit. 4,300. 2P going to come out here. Reflexes. And Oldoa's at least, I think, and I've lapped him. Oldoa's going to use Mad Pillar Stratagem. Some physical damage reduction. Actually kind of nice. Obviously helps reduce whatever damage Sephiroth will do. Finish him off, but I think he'll re-raise. He does not. So we got that gone. All right. That honestly still a competitive match. That's not a team I would take lightly, to be honest, still. Also context. I know this is important to know from a reincarnation perspective. So my Mont is max reincarnated. My Oldoa and 2P are not. My 2P is probably at like 30 or 35. I stopped when I got an evade stat that I was pretty happy with. And I think my Oldoa is around the same level, probably about 30. So above average. Oh, shit! Yo, let's go. This is Kells, and this is a former Veritas member, former VIP member. He actually recently just joined Howl, and so I did put out a little shout-out that I was free matching. Very curious to see. This is a MonoLight team. This was actually one of the teams featured in my very first showcase ever, that this is a very dangerous team. I love this iteration and concept. Very well-rounded light team that obviously very fast. Cloud and Bart's both faster than my entire team. So I do think, unfortunately, fortunately, because of the spacing, I will get all the buffs off that I want. I'm not going to get baited here unless they Keen Blade, which, very possible. Is it? No, okay, so Luminescent Blessing. But still, there could be a Keen Blade on second buff here if we're not in range, which, quite frankly, would be rather catastrophic. Those light slash chains cannot be underestimated, particularly with the Bart's follow-up damage just chipping in there the whole time. So Cloud's going to go, I would imagine, a haste TMR here. Again, it's so popular. No, it's the Keen Blade. I thought it was Lucio that might have it. It's actually Cloud. So Lucio's going to get to go again. At least doesn't get all three of them in it. This is the Honeycomb Barrier and the all-element res. Hopefully, Oldoa can go in here and dispel that on her limit break. That would certainly help me a lot from the all-element res. I do get the trace and the follow-up. I'm actually pretty happy spacing-wise that 2P is not in range yet. I do want her to, you know, not expose herself too early. It looks like we're going for the guaranteed hit here of the Spirit in Peril. I would think it's likely landing on Cloud, but this is the limit break coming out from Lucio here. I'll be honest, it's been a hot minute. I don't remember what this does. Oh, it's the CT down. It's basically like the Elia Stag Impact. I'm sorry, thank you. So I got lucky there. That's normally a select 3, and he only got Oldoa in it, so I wasted that pretty early. Blade Blitz coming out. Fair amount of damage. I at least regen it in time before any kind of re-raises proc or anything. Maul coming out here. Twofold Reaver with that double hit. The unit in peril. Cloud's going to get to go here. I'm a little nervous, but 2P does have a jump +1. That 2P should come in here on the next turn. Do something pretty substantial. There's the follow-up. I think I should be able to still... No, it's gone. Okay, so Oldoa's out. There goes my damage aura. Not great. Oh, she can only hit Bart's. It does finish him off, but I would have loved to get at least a couple more people in there. Already he's lapping me in this turn order here. Very much so because of that Keen Blade coming in clutch. I at least get the counter here. Do I heal back? I do. Cloud's going to probably bring me to courage here, though. He's probably damage capping me, if I'm being honest. I get a very clutch evade from 2P. Oh, he does not damage cap me. I am very lucky. So there's at least some good counterattacks. That chip damage, actually very important. I just took out like 40% of his health on those two attacks. Can I limit break here and get the haste online? Yes. Now, again, haste does take a couple turns to really show its full value in terms of potentially lapping people, but you can't ask for much better here. I'm going to get a follow attack here. That's going to proc on Cloud. 2P is going to go here next. Hopefully kill Cloud. And she has the follow-up attack that no matter what Lucio might have, I should be able to come in here. And it doesn't matter. Excellent, excellent fight. That looked really murky there in the middle there. Once Oldoa goes down, all bets are off, particularly with Keen Blade. There's so much that to like... You're just never sure of the late fight turn order and how those chains end up accumulating. It's one of the cool things about free match that We do see a little more in Guild War nowadays too, but most definitely in free match, that's a very popular strat. So I am going to go for one more here. We've got a pretty good selection of people that we've played against here in terms of MonoLight and a couple different Sephiroth iterations and various other kinds of King Monts. We've seen initial placements and non-initial placements. That's really all I want at the end of the day for these showcases, to kind of show a broad variety of teams if possible. And so we're basically there. Would love to see one more match just to see if something crazy happens, but it's already been a very, very good day for a showcase. Oh, we got an insta-queue here. Who is it against? I did throw out a couple shout-outs. This is always... Oh, Biggie Dinny, who I don't know. Rank 188, though. So again, a veteran, Volke slot 1. This would be very cool if this is like a Volke Sephiroth team. I don't know who that third unit could be. Obviously, Kadash could be a Monofire team. But we talk about variety. This is a completely different team iteration than what we've seen already. Very excited to see what they do. Oh, and it's a MonoPierce team. Boy, talk about variety. One of the last things I was expecting, and here we are, 2 wind units going into 2 earth units. This is as cool and complex of a matchup as you could possibly envision, where obviously I also have the ice tank going against those wind damage units, and they have the fire tank going against my ice tank. So there's a lot at play here. We got a bunch of barriers. This is a hyper accurate team on the Pierce side. Oh, he has the sub job buff enabled on Volke. That is the barrier. That's honestly not a bad buff, but very, very risky having Volke move backward like that, where these Pierce units are going to jump ahead of him real quick here. We'll see if that ends up coming to bite him from a space perspective, if Volke can catch up. Now, again, the Veritas of the Wind does have a lot of jumps, so he should go straight forward here. He does. I don't think my 2P's in range to get baited, which gets the buff off here, obviously. Hopefully my King Mont isn't either, but Glass is going next. Decent chance. Oh, she moves backward. You know what? That's actually not the worst, but Veritas the Wind is about to get bullied very soon here if they don't catch up, because he's got his haste online that he might end up moving forward. Now, Oldowa's going to keep pathing this way. My only hope here is that he doesn't move far enough so that Mont can hit him, because Mont without that second buff is a different unit. I need the courage. I need the AP restore. Does he do it? Oh no, I already did it. I must have already did it, because that's the ketone TMR, which is still a good one. That's the reaction block rate. That's the hate down, technically. That's AP reduction, AP consumption reduction, which he's going to be great throughout this fight. I at least start some of these chains here on Wind Veritas, but it looks like he's going to move again before my units do. So those chains aren't really going to come to any kind of fruition, but Volke here getting the other very important buff off. So, spacing-wise, this actually did still work in his favor, that I think all is going to be okay. So this is still hyper-competitive at this point. Wind Veritas here. You know what? Not a lot of damage on the Ashen King Mont. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was going to be a lot more, to be honest. But I get the limit break here, which will dispel his haste. Certainly nice at this point in the fight that he loses some of that advantage. Removes all the other buffs. He's getting to the point, too, that once he loses that haste, he loses a lot of his other buffs, like the debuff weakening and some of the others that are conditional. So he, too, is a unit that's very, buff reliant, that once you dispel it, he's a different kind of unit. That limit break, though, is a good limit break on this team. Obviously gives her the courage, gives her the AP restore. It continues the elemental chain, which, there is a lot of chaining potential with these teams. And so Mont, using the limit break here, I think he's only single targeting the Veritas of the Wind. So again, kind of hit or miss whether it's the right call to have him this far out front. You would like to see Volke a little more in the fight, where Volke really hasn't done anything yet in terms of sealing Dispel or defense or spirit penetration down, which is his big thing. That'll change now in a second, because they're going to start to move closer together, but it might have been just a little too late. So Veritas the Wind going to attack again. I would imagine the Dispel here, that's his smaller cross shape that should get rid of the haste, unfortunately. Is that what it is? Yeah, it's the reaction. Oh no. I got to brush up on that. I don't remember exactly all the effects of it, but obviously reaction block rate down. Volke's going to come in here, attack Oldoa, which, curious if he limit breaks her, he limit breaks both of them. So this gives him regen. It's also a Pierce Imperil. Pierce Res penetration for him, so he should do more damage. That's a sizable amount of damage. I at least get the heal back here, so I'm still in a pretty good spot, considering I'm at full health. Oldoa still, yeah, still has the aura active. This is going to be a Spirit in Peril on the two of them. This is very clutch to get Veritas of the Wind out of the fight early. A lot of damage on Volk here that Volk's not going to move again before 2P does. And so, and before Oldoa attacks. So this should, yeah, not a lot of damage. Not a lot of damage. AP cost down. Agility down on him. So even for Volk, he's going to start to get lapped a little harder here in a couple turns. Re-Razor move, very clutch. He was not able to seal that on her. CT down, adding to the agility percent down. He is not looking good. Probably dead right here on his select 2. There it goes. So now it's just this 3v1. A lot of damage there in the follow-up. 3,500 from crit damage. 3,000 from Oldoa, who regens some of that health as part of her buff. I would think, yeah, triple cross here just to remove the courage. Very clutch that it gets rid of courage on Mont, but probably too little too late. Here comes the Dark Ifrit. Esper coming out here, procs the courage. Even though it's a fire in peril, it's still a bunch of attack and magic buffs for my team. 2,700 attack, boom. That, I'll be honest, that was a very fun fight to still observe. It still lasted a fairly long time, all things considered. I do like that team a lot. I just think that buff rotation wasn't optimal with how Veritas of the Wind got too far ahead of them there. And you know, we're actually to call it there. I've been matching for a while. Nothing really popped, but I think we got everything we wanted from a showcase perspective. You know, this is an Ashen King Mont showcase, but I think 2P was a very valid contributor. There was a lot of counter damage there, a lot of follow-up attacks, particularly in this courage meta at the moment, where sure, there may be a lot of courage seal around, but follow-up attacks are still one of the best anti-courage mechanics in the sense that they still do damage after your second one, so it can technically kill a unit at 1 HP. So, you know, there's a lot going on there between the two of them. Oldoa, you know, did get chained down rather quickly, did die relatively quickly, but absolutely did her job necessary to draw the fight a certain way, to get some of those very valuable early fight dispels, to at least get some of the damage mitigation aura so that Mont and 2P could get 3 to 5 to 6 turns in some cases. That overall, very happy with this team. I think this was fun to witness, but I'll pause there. Thanks for watching, everybody, today, and I'll talk to y'all soon.